everyone. Today we got to play Alice's Garden. Now, this game is a Tetris-style game, but before we get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Alice in Wonderland? Now, your sister...
Alice in Wonderland or this game?
This game.
Okay. I can tell you a lot about both of the topics, but...
This was a gift, a Christmas gift from your sister, because she was able to find it. Turns out, can't really find it in the United States, excluding through like the geek market because...
Well, it's not in the United States even there. It's just, that's the only place I found where you actually could purchase this game.
Yeah.
So this is a 2020 release. It has a Board Game Geek rating of 7.2 and a Board Game Geek rank of 3276. 1 to 4 players, 30 to 45 minutes, which I think is actually long. It seemed like it.
Well, if you have 10, more players,
15 minutes. Yeah, with 4 players, it might. Age 8 and up. Mm-hmm. Design is by, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing these names, and I apologize. Iquan Kwan. Art is by Eugenia Smolenkova. Published by Lifestyle Board Games Limited, and the only place I found it was on the Geek Market, and there was from Germany and China or Japan. There were several different areas of the world, but none of the United States.
Yeah. So this one's maybe a little hard to get a hold of here in the States, but if you're elsewhere, you might be a lot more fortunate to be able to get a hold of it. Now, let's talk about quality of components, shall we? So basically, you have these pretty generic boards, although they are very beautiful with the artwork. And then you have more cardboard tiles.
They're very thin cardboard, though.
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed in the cardboard thickness.
Yeah, but they are linen finish, so at least that's something onto them.
And then you do get these nice bags. You do get these bags are the nicest piece.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 5.5.
Yeah, probably just because of the bags. Yeah, otherwise, I probably would have given it like a 4.5. But the bags are really nice.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the actual theme. So the theme is you are building the Queen's Garden.
Specifically, the Alice volunteered to help the cards design the garden. And
by painting the roses red. No.
That the Queen is not happy with unless certain conditions are met in her garden. That's what your goal is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a cute little Tetris themed game.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a layered on theme, but it does fit with the different
the artwork's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought she did a wonderful job with it. I think it turned out great. I think it was cute.
Yeah.
You love this theme.
It's Alice. I mean, you can't go wrong with Alice. It's pretty. The only disappointment is the Cheshire Cat's pictured on the box, the smile, but he's not in the game. That's my biggest disappointment.
Well, you probably got to be really careful with that. So, score-wise, what are you going to give it on theme?
I mean, it is completely superficially on here. It's a puzzle game. I'll give it a 6 because it is Alice, but otherwise, it's layered on.
Yeah, I mean, the artwor's good enough. I mean, that's where I think a 6 is appropriate because the artwork is very well. Considering it's a Tetris game, I thought they did a fine job. Mm-hmm. So, I think that works out. Now, let's move on to the actual rule book. Now, you actually had to download and print.
It comes with 2 rule books. Unfortunately, neither one of them is in English.
But they're very pretty rule books.
Yeah, they are pretty rule books.
They're very pretty rule books.
They're 6 pages long, and they're about the size of the box, a little smaller. Unfortunately, my printed version is way smaller, and it was much harder to read because it's got the color from this faded because we only have a black and white printer. And therefore, I had to try to read this in tiny font.
Why didn't you print to size?
Because I didn't know how. It's a PDF, and it was sized with 3 pages on a PDF page. So I'm not sure how it would have worked to try to print to size.
Oh, I could have helped you with that.
You probably could have. I am about the most technologically backward technology person you'll ever meet.
You just have to cut and paste. Anyway, you have to...
Well, I cut it. No, I didn't paste it. We didn't have paste.
So, what was your score in the rule book?
Well, we didn't go over the rules. So, basically, it's a very simple rule book, very simple game. The rules, if you look at it on this, the font is fine. It's a little small, but not bad. But the the scoring mechanism is the main part of the game. Other than that, you're just simply drafting tiles. It's a very straightforward read, not hard at all to understand if you speak the language of the book. There's the English interpretation of it was fine. I didn't see any kind of translation issues from what I saw in the rule book. And it was easy to understand, just tiny on the printout. So I'll probably give it a 7. It does a good job. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay. All right. So now let's actually talk about the gameplay. So Randy's going to have his board. I'm going to have mine. So I'm going to be the first player because that's
the way you get the first player Mad Hatter hat.
Woo-hoo. Okay. So I'm going to pick 3 tiles. It's actually 1 plus the number of players in the initial pick through.
Right,
but after that, it's only based on the number of players. So, all right, so I'm going to take 3. So then I'm going to place them out on the board. Now, I'm going to pick the first one. This one looks super cool. So I'm going to take this and put it here. And then it's Randy's turn. Randy's going to take one.
I'll take this one because it's got trees on a straight line vertically, which is really cool for this game. So I'm going to put it over here.
Yep.
We'll put it up at the top.
Okay, and then now Randy's going to pick another bag.
I could choose any bag I want.
Or the same one that I did. Yep. It does not matter.
I'll choose the straight 4-piece.
You like that one.
I just like to mess with around. Oh, that's nice. It gives me another tree all the way. Because one of the things.
2 different boards.
Yeah. Oh, you're playing on the front side. Well, you could have told me that. All right. So we're going here still. Doesn't change that. Does change where I'm going to put this, though, because now this is really cool for me because the arrangement of these, which you're looking for several different ways of scoring, one of which is your trees you want as far apart as possible. So
in the same row.
In the same row. So ideally, if you put a tree in every spot on the right and a tree on every spot on the far left, you're going to get the most points because you get 1 point for each space across so it'll be 8 points.
Good luck trying to do that.
But also, you want to get your chess pieces to line up on the chessboard. Now, on the standard board, they're all in the columns, in the middle 2 columns. And this has 2 chess pieces lined up perfectly on those columns. Not to mention, the last coup de grace on here is you've got cards that are the gardeners. And you want them touching because when you do touch them,
you get a single.
You get a single as a bonus. So I got 2 cards touching, so I get to draw a single tile. And you don't have to play it until the very end of the game. Oh, it's a chess piece. Nice. So I'm going to keep that over there. And at the end of the game, I'll use that to fill in holes.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to take this right here. Now, this has 2 roses. I already have 2 roses on the board. So I'm going to end up connecting 4 of the roses. I'm lining 1 of the chest pieces. But 4 roses, as you a max of 5, once you collect the roses in a clump, you get 25 victory points.
It's the square of the number that you've gotten together up to 5. So 25 points for that.
That's pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. So right now I have 4 of those 5. Anyway, so you're going to keep on playing until you no longer can. One of the players...
One player can't fit a tile.
Right. And when you can't put a player, you're going to take a single. You're going to place all your singles at the end. And then you start the scoring. Now, let's talk about the scoring. So one thing we didn't mention is that if you have 2 mushrooms in a column, not a row, a column.
Did we even draw any?
I did. Yeah. Then you get 8 victory points for each column that is true. Now, you could have 3, 4, whatever, but you still only get 8 in that column. So you want to kind of keep it to 2 per column if you can. Again, we talked about the chess pieces. They're worth 5 victory points apiece, which, again, pretty
if you line them up on a chessboard space.
Yeah. And then your trees, like you mentioned, are the number of spaces in between the spaces in a column, right?
Including the trees.
Then we talked about the 2 cards. That doesn't give you any victory points. It just gives you the singleton. And then we talked about the roses. So that is the game.
Oh, no. You get penalties. So the penalties at the end for any empty spaces you have on your board, you lose 5 points per space. And for any of these extraneous single tiles that you get that you cannot play on the board, you get minus 5 points.
So you want to be very aware of when you fill your thing. I never had a problem with too many.
No, we never did.
So with that, it was a cute little Tetris game.
Yeah, it was one. We played it, and as soon as we finished, you're like, let's play it again.
Well, I just wanted to, flip it to the other board, and I wanted to beat you because I didn't win. And
that's really what it was.
That's really what it was. And I did win the second time because I actually paid attention to the rules. But yeah, overall, it was cute. It was fun.
It's a quick little filler. It's not something that is. I'm not going to choose it for game night to be the main game. But if I'm
waiting on people,
it's quick and easy and simple to get out. I think your mom will enjoy this.
I think Mom would enjoy this. Yes, very much.
Yeah, I mean the theme's fun. And what little of it there is, it's the art is pretty, and
I think it's friendly to people.
Yeah,
it's very friendly.
It's a fun little polyomino game. So yeah, I'm probably about 7.5 on this one.
Okay, yeah, I think a 7.5 for what it is spot on. I mean, it was a good little game. So all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you had a blast and come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.